The Dodgers get embarrassed by the Astros, and there's something that they should be worried about. We've got some injury updates that are definitely going to turn things in the right direction from a roster standpoint very soon. But let's face it, the Dodgers got embarrassed this weekend.
Oh, Mookie Betts with his 15th home run.
One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose to the Houston Astros for a third consecutive time. They get swept by the Trastros in what was an embarrassing series that the Dodgers just did not show up. And it was a historically bad series for this Dodgers team that had a run differential in this 3 games. They were outscored 29-6. That is the third worst, most lopsided run differential in a 3-game series for the Dodgers that they were on the losing end in franchise history. And today there were some bright spots. We'll talk about Emmet Sheehan. We'll talk about some of the defensive plays. Ha-Seong Kim, Dawn Rushing. Nice to see Mookie Betts have a second consecutive multi-hit game. But the concern for me, just right off the top in this one, is the lineup just not producing runs. And now you don't have Max Muncy for at least 6 weeks. You're okay in the division. You did build that lead where you're still 56-35, 2 games ahead of the Cubs in the National League. You are behind the Tigers for the best record in baseball, and then you did give yourself a nice cushion in the division. You're up 7.5 on the Padres and Giants, but now I think we know more than ever how important Max Muncy was to this lineup, how important a healthy and productive Teoscar Hernandez is to this lineup. You scored 1 run today, you scored 4 runs yesterday, and then you get beat 18-1 on the 4th of July. Look, we could talk about the pitching. We could talk about how Will Klein performed in the 2 home runs that Tanner Scott gave up, even though he's basically pitched once in the last 9 games. I don't know what we're doing in this series. Are we saving these guys so they'll be fresh and rested for a series against Milwaukee? But at the end of the day, you're just not going to win many games where you score 1 run. In 2 of the 3 games in this series, the Dodgers scored 1 run. Today, they were out hit 11-7. They were only able to muster up 1 run in this game. And it begs the question, yes, you look at the lineup. Ruiz, Ha-Seong Kim, Dawn Rushing. It's not their A-plus lineup as far as hitting goes, and you're trying to get those guys much needed experience at this level. But does this team struggle against high velocity, elite pitchers? We've seen that at times this season. It just kind of makes you wonder. I mean, they had a lot of success winning 10 of the last 12 and really putting things together in a big way in the division. But today, I think you saw a Dodgers team that, from an at-bat standpoint, when you don't have Teo and Muncy, Tommy Edman, he was sitting out this series finale. They're both nursing various injuries. You lose Max Muncy earlier this week. That Dodgers lineup just looked thin. It looked too thin, and it was good to see the guys that were stepping up to have some success. I think you look at the lineup today and what they were able to produce. Dawn Rushing, he's in the game. He's been essentially playing in 1/3 of the games since he's been called up, and he got 2 hits. He drove in the only run for the Dodgers this afternoon. It was a double in the 2nd inning. And Mookie Betts had a pair of hits. It was a second multi-hit game. Rushing was clearly looking better at the plate. But really where the game came down to from the Dodgers standpoint is that inning from an offensive standpoint where Rushing was on, Mookie's on, and you got Freddie Freeman at the plate. He lines a ball 103.7 miles per hour to center to old friend Taylor Trammell, and that was the Dodgers' best chance to get into it. He was representing the tying run there. But look, this offense, they just did not look good. They did not look good in this one, and you need to have this offense just produce and be more consistent. It just looks like there's a gaping hole left by Max Muncy. And let's be honest, Teoscar Hernandez has had some ups and downs this season. He's dealt with injuries. There's been slumps along the way, and that is clearly not the same Teo that we saw last year, who was playing in every single game, and he was at the very least 30% above average hitter from offensive production standpoint. So, I mean, then you add the fact that, yeah, Mookie's had some good games this series at the plate, but we know yesterday he tried to stretch that double into a triple, and it essentially cost them any chance of winning that game. And then today, yeah, look, you got guys that aren't going to be pitching for you in October, okay? Like, let's just be honest about that. I mean, what really changed things there was the 6th inning. That was the big go-ahead rally for the Astros in this one. Will Klein comes in. He gets those 2 outs. It looks like it's going to be a quick and easy effort for him. And then he gives up the double to Mauricio Dubon, and then he hits a batter. And, of course, that hit, sure, I mean, he's wearing the elbow guard, gets out of the way a little bit, but hey, you pitch inside like that and you hit a guy, then you deserve to give that base. I heard Oral Hershiser during the broadcast saying, oh, I don't like guys wearing the elbow guard. They've been wearing it for 30 plus years. I mean, it's not new. Okay. So pitchers have to adjust, and they've been adjusting for a long time. If you can't pitch inside and you're going to hit guys, you are going to suffer the consequences. And then after that, you give up the infield single that just died right down the third baseline. And after that, then you're starting to think, here's the blow-up inning. Here's the blow-up inning, and you're concerned about, can the Dodgers find any type of offense to get back? But after Dubon gets that infield single down the third base line, he's up 0-2 to the next batter with the bases loaded in a 1-1 game, and it was a good at-bat. It really was. He gets ahead in the count, 0-2, and then he just misses up out of the zone with a slider for ball 4. That walked a run in. The Astros, they go up ahead 2-1. And then credit to Alex Vesey. He comes in with the bases loaded. He strikes out Isaac Paredes to get out of the inning. But then you go to the top of the 8th inning, and the Dodger killer Christian Walker, 9 home runs in 8 games at Dodger Stadium. I mean, when you look at the success that Christian Walker has had at Dodger Stadium throughout his career, it's incredible. He hits another solo shot. That made a 3-run game. Then Diaz, he homers. That makes it a 4-1 game. And then top of the 9th, Altuve, he crushes a bomb. He had a big series. And the Astros, they go up 5-1. And the Dodgers, they go out quietly in the 9th. Conforto was able to get a single, but nothing really doing. The only offensive threat they had was that at bat there with Freddie Freeman, 103 off the bat, looked like could fall, was a sinking liner, and that was it. So, look, the Dodgers bat just didn't show up. I mean, like, period, point blank, end of story. Give the Astros a lot of credit, because it's not like they went out there and they were just mowing it by guys, blowing cheddar and just dominating hitters. Look, they had 7 strikeouts today, and they issued 1 walk. But they also had a way to get easy fly ball outs in certain spots, soft contact throughout, and the Dodgers on their end, from an offensive standpoint, just not creating enough opportunities. They go 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Dalton Rushing, the only guy to come through there with that hit in the 2nd inning for the first run of the afternoon. So just, hey, offense needs to show up. And I think that the benefit of this is the message to the Dodgers offense, hey, you have to step up in the absence of Max Muncy. And it was encouraging to see Mookie get his bat on the ball this weekend, and you're glad that that looks like it could be a very positive sign. But you need more from Freddie and Mookie on a consistent night. And I think, too, you need the slug. And it wasn't a good series for Shohei Ohtani at the plate. Today's Shohei goes 0 for 2. If you look at the MV3, Shohei 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Betts 2 for 4. Freeman 1 for 4. And just, look, Pages goes 0 for 4. He had a strikeout. It's just not enough. And the offense, all of a sudden, with Teo, Edman, and Muncy out, they just look thin. And you were hoping that Shohei would carry this series, and he goes 0 for 3 Friday. with a strikeout. Yesterday goes 1 for 4 with a single and a walk, into today 0 for 4. So no extra base hits for Shohei Ohtani in 3 games against the Astros. And he's a guy that you need in big situations, and unfortunately just wasn't able to come through. So not a fun series, not a lot of positives to come out of this, but there is one that you really can highlight, and that is the performance of Emmet Sheehan. Emmet Sheehan had 4 strikeouts and 5 innings of work. He gave up 1 run, gave a walk, and it was his first start since coming back from building up down there in AAA. And what really impresses me with Emmet Sheehan is, man, he really does have that top-end stuff. And you saw that on display throughout this one, his ability to kind of work around big spots where he just needed a pitch and he needed the ability to go out there and just execute a pitch in a big spot. And he was able to do that at points throughout. I mean, top of the 3rd inning, you got some really good defense there in the 1st inning where it looked like he was going to have some trouble. He gives up the single to Myers, Altuve singles, and then he strikes out Smith and Walker. He grounded into one at second base, and he got a fantastic play there by Hae-Sung Kim. Hae-Sung Kim backhand jump throw, really nice play. And then the 2nd inning, Hae-Sung Kim, he made another fantastic play as well. The ground out to Diaz. So 2 highlight plays from Kim. So he had some great defense. That definitely was a highlight in this one, was the defense. You had a really great backhanded play by Mookie Betts where he throws across the diamond and Freddie makes a nice stretch. Then Rojas catching a liner. I mean, there was good defense, but on Ruiz catching a one in foul territory, that was a big out. But still, I mean, when you don't hit, it's like, hey, we're talking about the defense, right? I mean, yeah, defense is great, but you need to hit if you want to win. And I think that was definitely the story of this game. But yeah, talking about Emmet Sheehan, though, big takeaway, big picture. I would say that Emmet Sheehan, just from a pure stuff standpoint, he's just extremely explosive. I mean, you saw him working both sides of the plate, the fastball running in to righties. He was hitting the corners with his off-speed stuff, the changeup down the zone. And I do think that there's no doubt in my mind. Like, we don't know. Will Ben Kasparius factor into the postseason? I don't know. I think maybe a Jack Dreyer. We'll see if he holds up. Maybe. I think Dustin May, after that gem that he had, I still want to see more from him against a better lineup, quite frankly, to see if I truly believe that he's a part of the postseason picture on the biggest level. So it's more confidence because he's done this longer. He's a bigger part of the rotation, and he's just been around. So he's been in those moments for times, right? 2020, pitching some big games in the postseason. So he's definitely more than a maybe. But Emmet Sheehan, I think there's no doubt about it. I mean, all these young guys, he is the guy that has the stuff that's going to play up in the postseason, and that he is going to be a part of what the Dodgers do in October. I can guarantee that. I can absolutely guarantee that. I mean, there's just no doubt about it in my mind. I look at the sequence there in the top of the 5th inning where it's not explosive strikeout stuff that inning, but the way that he can miss barrels and induce soft contact and generate those swings where you're mixing guys up, that gives you just more margin for error. And in that top of the 5th inning, it's a 1-1 game. He gave that double to short, but then he bounced back. He got Paredes to fly out. He walked Myers. And then the big sequence of the game for him at that point, runners on the corners, a 1-2 count, use that changeup down the zone to get Altuve to pop to third. So all in all, it was a positive performance for Emmet Sheehan. Certainly something to build on. 5 innings, 5 hits, gave 1 run, 4 strikeouts and a walk, 80 pitches. And look, I think for me, the 14 swings and misses just say everything you need to know, right? I mean, tell you everything you know about Emmet Sheehan. I mean, he has the stuff. So that is, look, we'll look back at this kind of time where it was like, oh, pre-All-Star break, guys are out. They're kind of, it's just kind of that weird little stretch where guys need a break, right? You've been playing a ton of baseball, but I will look back and say, hey, Emmet Sheehan hasn't been a massive sample size, but I think that I can guarantee that Emmet Sheehan is going to be a massive part of what the Dodgers do in October because of the way this stuff plays. But here is Emmet Sheehan from the Dodgers clubhouse moments ago talking about his start.
Emmet, just when you look at this outing, obviously for you to be able to go 5 innings, only 1 run, what was working well for you, and kind of what was the key navigating through their line, considering how aggressive they are?
Yeah, I think just getting ahead of guys. They're going to be aggressive, so making sure I make quality pitches early in the count, and then getting ahead and trying to put them away, which got away from a little bit towards the end, but overall pretty good.
What did just the time in AAA look like for you? Your first outing returning back from the big league club was perfect through 6. Yesterday, or the last one, a little bit of a shorter one. How did that just kind of prepare you to get back here to face a team like the Astros?
Yeah, had some stuff to work on, so I got to do that down there, which was nice. Feel like I'm in a pretty good spot for sure.
You ready to be back here on a normal rotation basis now, you feel?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
When you're seeing how this stuff is playing, especially like a team against the Astros, what does that say, just kind of where you're at, especially considering you're coming off Tommy John?
Yeah, it's nice. It's good to get the results, but I think just making sure I'm, ahead in the counts and not losing guys. Walks are probably the big thing just right now, just limiting that, and overall pretty good.
Emmet said he wanted you to trust the fastball, complement that with the changeup and curve. Do you feel like you were able to kind of line that up?
Yeah, I think so. I think the curveball got away from me a little bit towards the end of the outing, but the other two were pretty good and around the zone, and just playing it off the fastball was definitely the plan.
So Emmet Sheehan looked good today. Shohei Ohtani looked great yesterday. And look, I mean, it was just bad baseball on the offensive side for most of this series. But look, sometimes you just need to get your butt whooped. I mean, just sometimes you need to get spanked just to kind of, I wouldn't say humble yourself, but just to make sure that you know what you need. And I think this is a series where, hey, we know, look, the Dodgers are a better team than the Giants. The Dodgers are a better team than the Padres. The question is, are the Dodgers a better team against the upper echelon of Major League Baseball? Are they a better team than the Astros? Are they a better team than the Tigers and the Cubs? I mean, that is the competition. And you got to look at series like this, not as the end-all, be-all, because we've seen the Dodgers struggle against teams in the regular season, only to have success against them in the postseason. And sometimes that's flipped, and baseball is baseball. But I do think that you use a series like this to kind of say, look, I mean, we know that this wasn't our best lineup because of injuries. But I look at the just what really kind of boggles my mind last 2 days, just the bullpen management to me. I mean, this is no slight to Trevino in decline, Jack Little, guys like that, right? But you had every single arm available out of that bullpen the last 2 games, and I just look at the fact you only go to Vesia as your high leverage guy before you go to Tanner Scott. Yeah, and I think that you kind of have to almost recognize that the bats aren't there and kind of manage this, and hey, like, let's let it fly with these relievers. And I think the thing about Scott, like, you let this guy go an inning in like a 9-day stretch. Hey man, he needs regular time to make sure that he's calibrated. So I think that today with Scott, it was bad. I mean, he left some pitches up, and Christian Walker, man, like, this dude is freaking a Hall of Famer at Dodgers Stadium. He's homered in 7 of his last 8 games at Dodger Stadium. And he had an RBI single on Saturday. So, yeah, 8 games with an RBI when he's been active. I mean, the guy he plays the Dodgers and he turns into the GOAT, man. So there's a little bit of that. But I think what the Dodgers need to worry about, I really do, is just the offensive production with Max Muncy out. Because the top of the line has been inconsistent at times. You've had long stretches of slumps with Mookie and Freddie. Shohei didn't have a big weekend. Will Smith and the rest of this lineup, they just need to step up in a big way and make sure you finish this one out. You got Milwaukee, you got the Giants, and you got the All-Star break. And hopefully Max Muncy can come back. It's kind of a pain tolerance thing. And in 6 weeks he comes back. But the thing for me is, with Max Muncy, when he comes back, so let's say 6 weeks or August, September, how much time is he going to need to get his rhythm heading into the postseason? So I think that, yes, on paper, the moves look like they'll figure themselves out. Like, okay, we're 100%. We know what this roster looks like. We're going to be just fine. But I do think that there's a higher chance of making a trade for a position player now, not because they want to replace Max Muncy, but because they want to give themselves insurance for this lineup to make sure that they have enough firepower offensively. Because let's not forget, like, the reason why this team won last season, the bullpen, they were a monster in the postseason, but the offense showed up. And that is something that I think is going to be of the highest concern for them is, okay, do we have the bats to make sure if none of these guys are at their very best offensively, what does that need as far as, okay, who are we going to bring into that spot? So, yeah. But Dave Roberts, and we're going to do your comments right now. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. The Dodgers get swept by the Astros. Not a fun weekend at Dodgers Stadium. But Dave Roberts spoke to the media just a few seconds ago. Here's what he had to say about the sweep.
Next step or next plan for him kind of moving forward?
The next step would be for him to start a game with us. So he threw the baseball really well. And so as we sit here on Sunday, it'll be sometime, late next week or next weekend where he'll pitch again for us. But really good job today.
This game, until the end, was still a close one for the offense to pull out. What have you been seeing just from the offense today, yesterday, that's just limited the at-bats and the results?
I think that they just, certainly you got to give credit to their staff. The way they pitched us, I thought they did a really nice job. Really just kind of kept us at bay for 3 games. I think as far as the at-bats, I don't think we really kind of took really good at-bats kind of collectively. But again, I think you got to give those guys credit for how they pitched us. So it's one of those things that, as we said the other night, you got to wash it. And I think this series that, we just got to kind of pick up the pieces where we're at. Some guys certainly today that were unavailable, and hope that they can kind of feel better once we get to Milwaukee and kind of see where we're at.
Dave, speaking of those 2 guys, I guess you're talking about Teoscar and Tommy. A couple of questions. Did you get results on the
And Kike as well too.
And Kike, or any results that?
Tommy's got a small fracture in his pinky toe, but it's kind of per his tolerance. So I don't see an IL situation. Teo, the scans came back negative, so that's positive. But he's sore, and so we'll see how he kind of comes out after we travel. And then Kike has been dealing with this elbow thing for about a month, left elbow, inside, outside of it. So doesn't affect the defense, but the swing has been compromised. So, yesterday really came to a head as far as swinging. And so we stayed away from him again today. So those 3 guys, we're trying to figure out where we're at.
And then the other question, you can take stats and make them say whatever you want, but you guys have struggled against teams with winning records. Do you read anything into that?
No, I don't. I don't. I think that you still got to play the schedule. And I know we're a good team. And so the point is to win as many games in regular season as possible. So I really don't care who we beat. I just want to win more games than anyone. So I think right now, or even going forward, I don't pay too much attention to that.
I think we're 162. There's some hills and valleys. Do you think over these 27 innings they just caught you guys a little flat, maybe emotionally?
I don't think so. I think that I guess when you suppress offense and you don't hit, I think that sometimes kind of looks like you're flat or lethargic. But they just really dominated us on the pitching side, and I thought conversely, offensively, I thought they offensively had a great approach to all of our pitchers. 1 through 9. I thought they really did. So I don't think it was an emotional thing. I thought we were prepared coming into the series, but we just didn't play well, or we got outplayed.
There's Dave Roberts. Yeah, he was asked about their record against winning teams that have above 500 records, and you're still around 500, 2019 in that. But yeah, look, I mean, make no mistake about it. You definitely want to find a way to win as many games as you possibly can, but you do use those matchups as a barometer. And then he mentioned the Teoscar Hernandez injury. Teo yesterday he fouled a ball off the top of his left foot in the third inning on Saturday. Yesterday in the Dodgers 6-4 loss. In Edmond, he was hit in his right pinky toe in that game. So a small fracture for Edmond. So, man, he's just been having some foot issues, right? I mean, the ankle, now this, his pain tolerance. You wonder if it would just make sense to just let him sit to the All-Star break, but it's not going to be an IL, but it'll be interesting to see what his numbers look like playing through this. And then the Kike one was interesting as well. He hasn't really showed that much from it, but we'll see what that means for him. As far as the positive injury news, by the way, Blake Treinen and Blake Snell, they're expected to start rehab assignments very soon. Dave Roberts said Blake looked good. It looked really good. I think the plan is he'll probably go out to rehab, so we'll leave here for Milwaukee tomorrow, and he'll probably stay back to throw a pen and start his rehab. I'm not sure where, but the thought is 2 innings somewhere next week. So there's that one, and that's definitely encouraging. You get both those guys back. You said about Blake Treinen. Blake Treinen thought was really good as well. So Blake will probably be going out at some point in time, too. Both those guys should be ready at some point in time shortly after the All-Star break. So Snell, he's been on the IL since April 6th. He has the left shoulder inflammation. They transferred him to 60-day IL on May 17th, so he's going to be fine whenever he's ready to go to just hit the ground running as far as his roster spot and everything that entails. Then Blake, he was placed on the 15-day IL in mid-April with the low-grade right forearm strain. He was transferred to the 60-day on May 1st. So getting those two guys back is going to be big. Tyler Glasnow could be back soon as well. So the good thing is reinforcements are on the way, but not a good day for Dodger baseball. Not a good series for the Dodgers. Outside of Emmet Sheehan's pitching and some good defensive plays, just wasn't good enough. But let's get into the comments here. All right, here we go. You want Ohtani batting second so he has more opportunities for RBIs. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the argument for that is you sacrifice maybe 30 to 40 plate appearances that he gets batting leadoff for potentially some more run-producing opportunities. I think, too, the pitches that he gets guys that don't want to face him is another thing for sure. Jose Aguirre, this was the Astros fans World Series. Jose, Muncy sucks anyways. Wow, tell me you don't watch the Dodgers without telling me you don't watch the Dodgers. Jose Flores doesn't know ball, apparently, guys. He just said Muncy sucks. We got, 29-6 scoring F-Rod, but Dave Roberts doesn't want the lefties. So that's the thing, too, Major Chip Hazard, that they like to stagger the lineup where you got lefty, righty. So that when you put Shohei batting leadoff, it's just a natural stagger with Mookie behind him and then Freddie batting in the 3-hole there. Jeremy, there's no crying in baseball until today. Astros had a great series from Ray Soto. They did give him credit. They went out there. I thought Oral Hershiser saying they were cheating. It was funny, but it was also, I don't know. That wasn't it to me. Just because, the Dodgers home stadium. The Dodgers let him borrow their cameras this time. I mean, I think sometimes, like I said, I pride myself on being the non-homer Dodgers show. And sometimes you just got to say, our guys weren't at their best this day, and their guys, they kind of had their number. So, yeah, I think that that's more of an excuse for bad play. I don't want the Dodgers players just getting let off as an excuse just for some wild thing there. Richard Flores, Noah Davis has no business ever being in a Dodger uniform. Yeah, he's going to be one of those guys. Taylor Trammell made a catch in the late in the game where Freddie Freeman had an opportunity to tie it if he gets a home run there. Taylor Trammell made that catch. Taylor Trammell also is a guy that is a footnote on the 2024 Dodgers World Series team, and that is what Noah Davis hopefully will be too. One of those, wait, do you remember that guy? Who's that guy? I am here to collect Dodgers tears from Ask. Come on. If you want to talk about fake Astros World Series, that's all you guys. The Angels put up a better fight than the Dodgers. Yeah, interestingly enough, When the Dodgers got swept by the Angels back in early May, that led to a little downward stretch. Hopefully this is not the same. Hopefully they get a big weekend in Milwaukee. Runs in scoring position and left on base was the demise from Ray Soto. Yeah, definitely not executing those situations. We've got Klein. We got Nando 390. The home run derby wants Tanner Scott to be the official pitcher. Bruh. John Ernesto. Bump on the road. Dodgers will be fine. Efrod. I was banging a trash can for my home in Houston, so Oral Hershiser might be right. Efrod, that is the comment of the show. I would have put it past those. Trash throws. Give you a nice little comment of the show right there. Love that. That's some fire right there. Give you a nice little comment of the show because you deserve it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Here we go.
You win. Perfect.
All right, we got a 499 super chat from Stavi. Hear me out. Put Mookie at cleanup and Teo at the 8th spot. Want to earn those spots back. Shame on them to want to fight harder. Look, 499. Look, here's the thing. I mean, truth be told, I mean, having a guy that's been putting up the numbers that Mookie Betts has in your 2 spot, a guy slugging 396, a 718 OPS in your 2 spot, kind of want to run the numbers to see where that ranks among all Major League Baseball because, yeah, a guy in the 2 spot, you need a much better OPS and slugging and things like that. So hopefully they have something to build on. All right, guys, so a little under the weather today, so we'll be out of here pretty soon. We'll read some comments here. MP D-Mac, no matter how good Muncy has been, he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. But that's a fluke injury, MP. Some guy ran into his knee. It's almost miraculous that he was able to avoid major injury from that. But look, you're right in that he has missed significant time. But yeah, I doubt he'll be back in 6 weeks. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Tone Loke, the Astros trade away Tucker. They keep on winning. The Astros are a better run. Look, the Astros, objectively, the Astros, from a scouting standpoint, they are a very well-run organization as far as their player development goes. But they still suck because they're the trash Astros. No, but look, they're a bad organization in the sense that what they did in 2017 was terrible. But, yeah, I mean, if we're just, like I said, objectively, they are really good at scouting. And as you pointed out, you lose Kyle Tucker and Springer and Correa, all these guys, and now Bregman, they're still at the top of the American League. It's kind of wild that they're able to just move off guys at the right times, bring in the right guys, and just develop and develop. So, yeah, they definitely kind of know what they're doing down there with player development. But Eddie Chavez, the Astros did their homework, simple as that. We didn't play well. Yeah, the Dodgers struggled against breaking balls this weekend, and they definitely did that very well. And it absolutely helped them just control the series with the Dodgers hitters not being able to go and get big hits in big spots. Freedom, freaking garbage offense. Can't win one game on our own turf. Disgrace. If the Astros can hammer the ball, we should be able to. Longtime Dodger. Appreciate the super chat. Always Astros fans, you have one real World Series. Your other one does not count. The Dodgers have 8. It's over. You're not a marquee franchise. You're not. You're the opening act. The Dodgers are the main event, okay? Just fall into your place, okay? You're not a major market franchise as far as you're not up there with the Yankees and the Dodgers, okay? You're not there's levels to this, okay? You got one fake World Series. And you're probably one of the most hated teams. You're literally one of the most hated franchises in all professional sports. D-Mac, under the weather after a 3-day holiday bender. No, but absolutely not. The Dodgers, actually, yesterday I was at Dodger Stadium, did an interview with Haesung Kim that's going to be dropping tomorrow on Dodgers Dugout Live. So definitely check out for that. Interviewed Haesung Kim, learned some cool stuff from him. Also, if you have not yet, go over to gearup.la and get the new Clayton Kershaw. These are selling out pretty fast here. We sold a ton of these over the weekend. And he did make the All-Star team, got the Legends selection from the commissioner, but celebrate 3,000 strikeouts. This could be the last time we ever see this. Certainly be the last Dodger most likely to do this. 3,000 strikeouts, just an unbelievable accomplishment, only 20 in history, and celebrate it with this T-shirt. Really helps out the show. CK3K, 3,000 strikeouts. Designed by your boy, yours truly. So go pick one up and support the show. And most importantly, rep your Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. Go to www.gearup.la today to pick yours up. All colors, black, blue, navy, gray. Get this fire t-shirt while supplies last over at gearup.la. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We'll read some more walk-off shots before we get out. But Dodgers will be fine. Bullpen series. Adolis Garcia on the way. D-Mac. Hey, I'd take it. Managers, yeah, absolutely. So nice little back and forth here. I forgot what I was going to say. The Astros stole my thoughts. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow, 12 o'clock, Hesung Kim interview, rumors, Dodgers Rewind. Big show tomorrow, Monday, from the studio. And also, I think I owe you guys a shoey for Clayton Kershaw. So be ready for that. But see you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.